Way. Open Door. Open Door is represented by Open Door Brokerage Inc., license 0206-1130 in California, and Open Door Brokerage LLC in its other markets. Hi, it's Brian Bennett from Bennett's Kitchen Bar and Market in Roseville, and our newest restaurant, Bennett's American Cooking in Sacramento. Happy hour at Bennett's is fantastic. Price from just $10. Grab a friend, come on in and have some fun. Bennett's Kitchen Bar and Market at Eureka and Lead Hill Road in Roseville, and Bennett's American Cooking at Fair Oaks and Howell in Sacramento. Find us online at bennettsrestaurants.com. Eat well, stay well, and remember at Bennett's, you'll always receive a hospitable welcome.
At the Honda Summer Sales Event, one summer adventure leads to another. Start with a great offer on a new Honda, and be on your way to remote beach weekends, deep forest discoveries, and sunsets next to a campfire that you built yourself. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get 1.9% APR on the 2021 Honda CR-V, Ridgeline, or the all-new 2022 Civic.
Start your Honda safe adventure at NorCalHondaDealers.com. Exclusive at time bar. See dealer for financing details.
If you're one of the millions of Americans with unpaid or unfiled federal taxes, I'm here to offer you some hope and relief. Hi, I'm Kathy Hill, founder of Tax Tiger. Tax Tiger operates on the Christian principles of honesty and integrity. We're a full-service tax firm. Not only do we protect you from the IRS, we prepare your back taxes, release wage and bank levies, and negotiate the best settlements in the nation, many as low as $20. You can trust Tax Tiger to give you an honest and free appraisal of your situation. We will prepare your tax return every year, even if you have no IRS problem. We specialize in settlements and audits. You could be closer to financial freedom than you think, and you need a Tiger on your side.
Call Tax Tiger for a free consultation now. 916-393-9085. That's 916-393-9085.
The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Keisha from South Carolina. I've been skipping meals so my 2 kids can eat, but filling up on water doesn't really work.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hello, America. Mark Levin here. Our number, 877-3...
Let's get ready to rumble! Welcome to the show. My name is Charlton with Big C. This is Charlton and Big C Sports. Coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to Big C. And them good old boys around the country, I want to say bienvenidos to all of our listeners in Latin America, also across the pond, and London, England, as well as Paris, France. Of course, we love you in Canada and Africa, the Big C tribe. But there's no one we love more than the good old boys around the country, in the land of the free and the home of the brave on the beautiful August the 25th, 2021. Ground of the port is Bonjour. The bitty VJ, he came, he saw, he conquered. I want to say today's show is sponsored by your Northern California Cadillac dealers, home of the all-new Cadillac Escalade, the standard of the world. When you go by and test drive yours, just tell them Charlton and Big C sent you, as well as a fleet of Cadillac cars. Also, all around the world, just say Google or Alexa play Big C Sports Podcast. You will hear from our sponsors. You will hear, welcome to the show. I will introduce myself as the sports universe, and I really do appreciate the way things are growing with Big C Sports. You can follow Big C Sports on Spotify, Podchaser, Spreaker. You can follow Big C Sports on television on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. If you better have a smart TV, you'll be sitting there looking at us through a picture. Man, I love pausing. Some people say I don't pause enough. It's all clear in 11 words, but I will never pause on our Veterans Crisis Hotline. They really are experienced helping veterans and their loved ones get help. If you know any veterans going through issues, pick up the phone, call 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255, or you can text 838-255. That's 838-255. If you're online, simply go to Veterans Crisis Line. VeteransCrisisLine.net. That's VeteransCrisisLine.net. You could definitely get some help for our veterans and their loved ones. Also, very happy to be affiliated with Valley Homes Weekly TV on Dish TV, Direct TV, AT&T Uverse, TV of the first place San Francisco Giants, and the Say-Hey Kid, as well as the home run king, Barry Bonds. When you reach out to him, just tell him Charlton wants World Series tickets. Okay, you know the story now. You know the story. You know what time it is. Our goal is simple: recruit 10,000 real estate agents and brokers all over this great country, helping to put their property listings on TV, just like McDonald's does it, Nike does it, car dealerships are doing it, sports teams are doing it. Watch TV and real estate work for you. 800-772-8624. If you're looking for opportunities in real estate, go to bigcsports.pacwm.com. Most of our loans are underwritten by Rocket Mortgage and United Wholesale Mortgage, the #1 lenders in the country on the wholesale side. Also, I want to say thank you to my good friends at Xfinity Comcast TV, Comcast Spotlight Effect TV, for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like God said in Genesis 1:3, let there be light. Open your cell phones. Say play Big C Sports Podcast. You will see all of our apps pop up from all over the world, and I really do appreciate the growth having with Big C Sports. Also, I want to tell you, today's show is also sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, but 100% on your game. It's all fair level work. It also goes great with the Big C Burger. It is a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? Again, people keep asking me, where can they get the Big C Burger? I told them there's butterflies all over California. It's just like the movie Pulp Fiction, when John Travolta, Sam Jackson, Bruce Willis, Uma Thurman, produced by the great Quentin Tarantino, there was a scene. Well, Sam Jackson wanted a hamburger, but instead of paying for it, they shot a guy and took his hamburger. Sam Jackson ate the burger and said, man, this is a tasty burger with all these exotic meats. The exotic meats, it gets you all the time. It always gets you all the time. Be careful when you're out there eating on exotic meats. As my mom calls it, Henry. It's all fair. In Level War, a lot of good things going on in sports. Some baseball players are doing their thing. We got some baseball players, the guys that make big-time plays for some rookies. Oftentimes we talk about guys who have been around the baseball mound doing their thing, but I'm going to talk about some rookies, some of the top rookies in Major League Baseball. As far as the power rankings in Major League Baseball, going to talk about that as well. Also, some major news in Major League Baseball. Alex Bergman, out since June, returns to the Houston Astros, and he scores the winning run. It's all fair and level war when you score the winning run. Also, San Francisco Giants Buster Posey has a knee issue. He's out of the lineup versus the New York Mets. And then Brandon Crawford, his back is set to play. Goldsmith 2 home runs, scores a walk-off run as the Cards beat the Tigers. Don't want to get too much into that. Also, the New York Mets ace Jacob deGrom resumes throwing, and Noah Syndergaard is set for rehab. So the Mets are going to get a little bit better, especially when they get Jacob deGrom back on the mound. St. Louis, the Cardinals pitcher Jack Flaherty returns to the IL with a shoulder strain. How can we keep people healthy? We got to find a way to keep people healthy. Really appreciate that. Also in the world of NFL football, all fair and love and war, getting ready for the Raiders and the 49ers coming to you from beautiful Santa Clara over the weekend. San Francisco 49ers, Kyle Shanahan is not ready to announce the week 1 quarterback, but has a pretty good idea. Has a pretty good idea who the quarterback is, but why is it a secret? If you're going to go with the quarterback, let the whole team know. Don't keep it a secret. We don't need anticipation. Like, it's not catch-up. Bruce Arians implementing his own COVID-19 rules for Tampa Bay Buccaneers players on the road trips. So hold on, pause, freeze. Does the NFL have rules? Or are the rules going to be trumped by Bruce Arians, the coach of the defending Super Bowl champions? Might have a meeting coming up with Roger Goodell when he starts talking about having his own rules. I think that the New England Patriots, they implemented their own rules and it told Cam Newton you can't come, all fair and level war. And then finally, they have Luke Wilson decides to walk away after signing with the Seattle Seahawks, citing he having some health issues with his heart. So I hope that all's fair and level war. Big C Sports, I really appreciate paying attention to Big C Sports Podcast. Espy nominated Big C Sports Podcast. Why are we Espy nominated? Let's get ready to rumble! I love paying homage to the great Bruce Buffer. Welcome to the show, Espy nominated Big C Sports Podcast. I'm talking to our sponsors that pay between $1 million and $10 million a year for podcasters and broadcasters. No scripts, no three-way teleprompters. I have no producer in my ear telling me what to say. I've honored God in every show. My son Malcolm that gives me stats. Also my daughter Daisy's done stats at times, and also my partner, Big C in the past had done stats. But I'm flying solo. It's all fair and level war in that F-15 fighter jet, now the X-16 fighter jet. Number 1, I produce. Number 2, I direct the topics. Number 3, I broadcast every show. Number 4, I do all of the sound effects for Big C Sports Podcast. I do the commercials. The agency does some, and I also do some of the commercials. That's amazing. And that's number 5. Number 6, I provide the stats. I do it on my own, just like a broadcaster in the booth. They have a talent statistician. I do the stats for the show. I do the storytelling for everything that happens on Big C Sports Podcast. Got a story I want to tell you about also. I do all the Bible verses, Let There Be Light. It's all fair and love and war. That's Genesis 1-3. And then I upload, number 9, I upload every show to 15 multiple podcast platforms all over this country, and 1 in England. I also upload Big C Sports Podcast to 4 television platforms. Number 10, I never missed a show since starting Big C Sports Podcast, September 12, 2015. Big C Sports is the only sports podcast in the universe that quotes God. God said in Genesis 13:15, "For all the land that thou seest will I give you, and thy seed forever." James 4:2 says, "We have not because we ask not." So ask. No matter what it is, you got to ask. You might want to go on a date tonight. You got to ask for that date. Whatever you want to do, you got to ask for it. The answer is either yes or no. And sometimes it's not even no. It's just sometimes people are busy. It's all fair and love and war. I want to start today's story on Big C Sports Podcast. I thank all my sponsors and people all around the world that follow Big C Sports. There's a boxer that's worth millions of dollars. Millions. You would think anyone worth millions of dollars, that if he just wanted to get the Big C burger, he knows it's a tasty burger, and he knows it comes with what's all these exotic meats. But sometimes you get accused of things. His name is Jarrell Charlo. His net worth is labeled to be about $2 million. He has luxury fleet cars and a nice Houston mansion. But Charlo's been one of the finest boxers to set foot inside the ring in recent years. After turning into a professional boxer, he has achieved a lot of monumental feats. However, on Saturday, July 17th, he had the opportunity to become one of the legends of the game. When you think about that, he had the opportunity to become one of the legends of the game, fighting against Brian Castellano of San Antonio. But think about what's going on with this gentleman. There's a lot of things that are being said about him all over the news. I don't know how much is true or not, so I won't give it too much thought. But he was accused of, I guess, taking something that he wasn't paying for. And I don't want to get too into it. Anyone can be accused of things. I think most men and women, especially men of color, at times, you go through life where you may get accused of things that you did not do. But I just want to make that known. Make sure your youngsters going back to college, if you're going to do something, make sure you pay for it. Don't just walk in and walk out, no matter how much money you have, or thinking that people can just get away with things. Before I get into this show, I'm going to talk about some podcasts, Title VII and TV broadcasts, equal rights and equal opportunity for employment. I want to pay homage to my family lineage. On my mother's side, called her Mamo, also known as Hattie Leach. We have my great-grandfather called him Pop. And then my grandmother, Mud Deer, grandfather Hezekiah, my mother Bernice. On my father's side, Albert Curry. And then my grandmother, Alberta Curry, my father, Everett, produced me and all my brothers and sisters. Really appreciate that, having family and friends. But I want to talk to people about getting into broadcast. What is a protected class? Historically, there have been identifiable groups within our society that have received unfavorable treatment with regard to housing. They've been rejected or prevented from renting or even buying real estate properties, given different terms, paid higher rents or higher security deposits, overall received a lower level of service during the tenancy than other groups. But I want people to know, as a protected class, Classes have been identified at the federal, state, and in some cases local levels of government. There are some variations that allow for differences in the makeup of individual communities. So I want to give this quick PSA for people going back to college and they want to get into the world of broadcast and they don't really know how to do it. Some of them think like butterflies flying around. The great Michael Jackson saying, "You give me butterflies." Of course, he's saying it a lot better than I did. A lot of people say, "Yeah, that's obvious, Charlton." But there are some state and federal levels and state levels that help protect classes. At the federal level, there are 7 classes. Again, there are 7 classes of race, color, religion, sex, national origin, familial status, and then handicap referred to California as disability. At the state level, California's added marital status, sexual orientation, age, ancestry, source of income, medical condition, gender identity, expressions, genetic information, citizenship, immigration status, primary language, and military and veteran status. At the local level, some cities have added their own additional protected classes, such as the inclusion of height and weight or body size in both San Francisco and Santa Cruz, and students in Berkeley. And when we talk about that, it's important because whenever you're applying for a grant or funding to do TV or radio, if you're part of a protected class, you have I won't say you have a better chance, but there's a set aside so that you can get opportunity to what the mainstream has. You don't want to be diminished in your opportunity for a sports show or a company or a business, all because of some ethnic or gender exclusion that goes on. It's under the Civil Rights Act, and people can Google that if they want to, but I wanted to make sure we covered that. And all you got to do is Google Title VII, especially when it deals in TV broadcasting. You know, there's a $15 billion industry for the NFL, and minority businesses are also supposed to be able to get a part of that. But if you don't know that, then you might go along paying out your own pocket. But you have a right under the protected class, and that's important. I want to touch on something that's not something I care to talk about much, but one of my favorite basketball families, the Currys, that's my same last name, the Currys. I think people have all hit the news, Dale Curry and Sonia Curry, of having their own issues, as who doesn't have an issue in marriage. There are men and women that do whatever they want to do. People have these dating relationships now on these date lines. They go on a date line and find somebody and meet up and do whatever they got to do in hotels. But whatever it is, I wish that family nothing but the best. But I guess they decide that they want to step aside from each other. And if you believe reports on some other networks, they have the docs out there. I don't really want to get into anyone's marriage because nobody's perfect. I know so many people in this business that have wives, girlfriends, and boyfriends. And some have boyfriends and wives and girlfriends. I mean, it's in the men and women. People do what they want to do. I don't care as long as it's not bothering me. But I do know everybody has their own things to do in life, and I just wish that family nothing but the best. I'm not going to put their family through it. There's so many people that I know that have wives and husbands and boyfriends and girlfriends. I know wives with girlfriends and husbands. I know men with wives and boyfriends. People do it exactly what they want to do, but it's nobody's business. There was a song by Missing Persons back in the day that said, "It ain't none of your business," and it ain't none of my business, so I will stick out of that business. But I really do wish that family nothing but the best. We've seen them so many times on television, and in this business, no one really has a private life because everybody's in your business, and that's part of life. And I just wish all of those families nothing but the best as they go forward trying to rise and shine in a world where everybody kind of gets into your business and you can't really hide. It's part of being in the spotlight. Talking to a friend this morning from New York City. Of course, we do things off the record, but there's a lot of people who have their own agreements and how they are to appear in public, and what they do behind closed doors, that's their business. I've always felt that adults do what they want to do. Some lie about it, and some have their cell phones on all the time, and they're swiping left, they're swiping right. And some got to go see the doctor because the bush is burning like the bush is burning in 10 Commandments. Put the fire out! You got to put the fire out, so they got to go to the doctor. All fair and level work. Protect yourself. Going back to college, be careful. I want to talk about Big C Sports, Major League Baseball. Some of the top performers, the big-time players making big-time plays in the world of Major League Baseball. It's just my opinion, and everybody has their own opinion. But what I like to do is just give my thoughts on some of these top players that are doing what they got to do. Major League Baseball, the pipeline and staff reflects, maybe some players who will be Rookie of the Year, Big C's thoughts by season's end, combining both 2021 performances and some projections for the remainder of the campaign, given that the baseball season is still going. But this is my thought. And again, everybody has their own opinion. But Big C's thoughts, I want to go with big-time player, possible Rookie of the Year, Jonathan India, second baseman for the Cincinnati Reds. That's a good old boy. India keeps finding ways to show why he's above average. An offensive player in the majors prior to August, he was walking at impressive levels and posting high on-base percentages. He's been more aggressive this month and is showing off more power with his homers and a .560 slugging percentage. That good old boy can hit the ball. Through 22 games, he's done that. Both season best for a single month. He leads all rookies with a 3.3 WAR average and on-base percentage at .388. Think about this. He ranks third with .848 OPS minimum, 250 plate appearances. So he's going to get on base when he's up there to bat. There's reason why Cincinnati put India into the leadoff spot early in June, and he hasn't looked back since. I know everybody has their own favorite players and who's going to do what and who they believe is going to be the best player or Rookie of the Year in baseball. But that's just Big C's thoughts, and I'm sticking with it. That good boy for the Reds is doing his thing. There's another player that's up for Rookie of the Year. And again, this is Big C's thoughts. Everybody has their own opinion. I'm going to start with Trevor Rogers at number 2. He's a left-hand pitcher for the Miami Marlins. Rogers made only one Major League start since July 20th. At first due to lower back spasms, and now due to his noble decision to head home and help family deal with COVID-related issues. Of course, people got to do whatever they can to help their family stay safe. But he made a rehab appearance for a lower A Jupiter team on Tuesday, lasting 1 1/3 innings while throwing 55 pitches. The Marlins want him back to work to full strength before giving him another shot at the majors. The fact he still slid into the number 3 spot speaks to how much of a lead he's been in the previous games that he's played in. Rogers still claims a 2.45 ERA, so he's a flamethrower. He was trained by the great Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's a Jedi Knight. 129 strikeouts. That good old boy can pick him up and lay him down. And best among rookie pitchers in 110 innings this season. He'll be welcomed back with open arms. I come to you with open arms. Okay, I don't sing like that. I think that's Rod Stewart, but I might be wrong. Yeah, now I come to you with open arms. Okay, I don't sing like Rod Stewart, but he also doesn't do podcasts like Big C Sports Podcast. But I'm going to go to my number 3 guy on the list. Again, this is Big C's thoughts, my own thoughts. Maybe Rookie of the Year, Luis Garcia. He's a right-handed pitcher for the Houston Astros. He's a flamethrower. Garcia's gem against the Royals Tuesday, 6 2/3 innings pitched. He had 7 strikeouts. Look about, strike 3, you're out of there. All fair and love and war. But it's not the only reason why I move him up higher on that list, but it sure didn't hurt. The 24-year-old right-hander has been as reliable as they come in the American League West, especially of late. He owns a, hold on to your, buckle your seatbelts, people. He has a 1.99 ERA. That's a flamethrower. He's a Jedi Knight. He's a gunslinger trained by the great Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he has 23 strikeouts and just 5 walks over his last 4 starts. He's only walked 5 batters over his last 4 starts. He's a rookie. 22 2/3 innings. Garcia leads all rookies 144 strikes. Think about that. And 123 in the 3rd innings. Struck him out. 10, that's 10 more than Terry Scuball, who's second. Backed up that with a 3.21 ERA. I mean, there's a lot of good players in baseball. A lot of times people don't pay attention to the rookies. But I wanted to give you Big C's thoughts on Major League Baseball Rookie of the Year. We'll go just a couple more and just my opinion again, everybody has their own opinion, but I like Aldous Garcia. He's an outfielder of the Texas Rangers. Garcia continues to mix power and defense to make himself one of the highlights of a rough season down in Arlington. They have a brand new $1 billion stadium, but they can't win games in Texas. His 27 homers continue to lead all rookies this season. Runners on first and third, the pitch hit deep. Right field, back to the wall, home run! Say hello to my little friend. 27 homers, continues to lead all rookies this season. He has a 4.82 slugging percentage, ranks 5th, and a minimum of 250 plate appearances. I really like what that good old boy has done. And the last one I'm going to steal with that maybe, in my opinion, Major League Baseball Rookie of the Year, and again, is Big C's thoughts, so everybody has their own opinion. His name is Dylan Carlson. He is an outfielder with the St. Louis Cardinals. And when you think about the switch-hitting outfielder, was out from August 13th to the 23rd with a sprained right wrist, but came back to go 1 for 3 with a double Tuesday. That return was promising because Carlson looked very much like he did before he was injured. He was clicking on all cylinders offensively prior to the injury. Through 11 games, he owns a 3.57 batting average. And again, he had a bad wrist. I really like what he's doing. 12 home runs. And I really think he has a good chance also of chasing down the Rookie of the Year honors. Again, everybody has their own thoughts, but that's my Big C's thoughts on big time players making big time plays. It's all fair in level where I really do appreciate that. We're going to take what's called the Big C pause, and when I come back, I'm going to talk more about what's going on in the world of baseball with the players that like to hit deep, and then I'm going to also get into what I feel like coming back. Going to give Big C's thoughts on Major League Baseball power rankings. I know that everybody has their own opinion. I'm telling you, this year of baseball is such an exciting sport, especially what the Yankees are doing, what the Giants are doing. I even like what the Dodgers are doing, but they're always doing it. I like what the Braves are doing, the White Sox, what they're doing. You know, Boston's having a hitch in their giddy up, so it's Oakland. The Astros, what they're doing. There's so many great teams in baseball. I'm going to come back and talk about Big C's thoughts on Major League Baseball power rankings when we come back from the Big C pause. And before I get into that, I want everybody to know that when you're looking at the world of Major League Baseball, there's so many players that are going to be necessary to stay healthy coming down the stretch. So I'm going to give some of my thoughts on Big C's Major League Baseball power rankings. And then after that, I'm going to go into the pitch hit deep, right field, back to the wall. We'll do all that stuff after we take what's called the Big C pause. In the words of the former California Governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and the Terminator, I'll be back. All right, we are back from the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the #1 podcast network in the universe, iHeartRadio podcast. You can follow Big C Sports on Apple Podcasts. You can follow Big C Sports on Google Podcasts. There's so many apps you can follow, and I really do appreciate the way things are growing with Big C Sports. You can follow Big C Sports on television, Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and a lot of smart TVs all over the universe. But you better have a smart TV, or you'll be sitting there looking at a still picture. Man, I love Let's Get Ready to Rumble! I love the great paying homage to the great Bruce Buffer. Try it. It might take your breath away if that makes this shit all fair and level war. Big C's Major League Baseball power rankings from 10 to 1. Gonna start here in the Bay Area, Northern California. Number 10, the Oakland Athletics. The Athletics stumbled to a 3-8 record in their past 11 games. Right-hander Chris Bassett landed on the injured list with the fractures in his facial fractures. We saw that horrific hit after he was hit by a line drive Tuesday. It's possible he could miss the remainder of the season, and that's a huge blow to the Oakland A's staff, but I still put them at Big C's top 10 in the power rankings. Number 9, Big C's power rankings in Major League Baseball top 10. The Cincinnati Reds, with a 4-game sweep of the Miami Marlins over the weekend, the Reds officially passed the reeling San Diego Padres for number 2 in the National League wildcard spot. A healthy Michael Lorenzen has just giving the pitching staff a huge boost. The 29-year-old has tallied 3 saves and 3 holes while tossing a 10-1 scoreless innings in 9 appearances out of the bullpen in August. That good boy is definitely doing his thing. Really look forward to seeing how they close out the rest of the season. Cincinnati Reds, not the big red wrecking machine back in the day of the 70s, but they're still a good team. I want to go into Big C's number 8 in Big C's Major League Baseball power rankings. I'm going to go to the city down south, the dirty south, the Atlanta Braves. Them good boys. The Braves are 17-3 since the trade deadline, including a 9-0 road trip that included sweeps of the Washington Nationals, the Miami Marlins, and the Baltimore Orioles. The top-tier competition, not exactly, but it's still an impressive showing that has helped them build a 5-game lead in the National League East, and left-hander Max Fried threw the team's first complete game shutout of the season on Friday. So I really look forward to that. All's fair in love and war. In California, it reminds me of the great Nelly who said, "It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes." A lot of people walking around in Northern California without their clothes on. Who's to tell somebody their pants are too tight? All fair in love and war. There's a song back in the day called "It's My Party and I'll Cry If I Want To." They do what they want to do. Number 7 in Big C's power rankings, Major League Baseball. I'm going to go with the Chicago White Sox. Think about this. The White Sox had a chance to prove that they can be a very good team. They came away with a 4-3 record against Oakland, the Athletics. And the Tampa Bay Race, unfortunately, they ended with a 9-0 loss to Chris Archer and a handful of relievers, clinching a series defeat for the Southsiders. The team can coast to an American League Central title, but can they flip the switch when it matters? And I'm telling you, there's something about the great Tony La Russa. He knows how to manage. He did his thing when he was in Oakland. He also did his thing when he was with the St. Louis Cardinals, and now he's doing his thing again with the Chicago White Sox. The second favorite team, I still say Chicago. Everyone still loves the Cubs, even though the Cubs are coming up the belt. They're having bananas stuffed in their tailpipe, the great Eddie Murphy Beverly Hills Cop. Is this the man who wrecked the buffet at the Herald Club this morning? So I like what the Chicago White Sox are doing, as long as Tony La Russa can keep enough no-dos to not fall asleep in between innings. All spread level work. I want to go to number 6 in Big C's Major League Baseball power rankings. Number 6, the great Dusty Baker led the Houston Astros. They were just 9-10 in August, entering play on Monday, but they were swept by the Kansas City Royals last week. But this is still the team to beat in the American League West. My opinion, you have rookie Jake Myers is batting .341 with 3 doubles, 3 home runs, and 11 RBIs in 15 games since debuting in August 1st, and he has staked claim to the everyday center field job in the process. I really like what they're doing down in Houston. And of course, Dorsey Baker, he did his thing with the Giants back in the day, getting them to the World Series. Also has Chicago Cubs playing well. I don't even want to mention the player that grabbed the foul ball. A lot of people in Chicago are still mad at him. He did his thing in Cincinnati, and now he's doing his thing with the Houston Astros. You know, former Dusty Baker played out of Northern California, Del Campo High School, all strand of war. I'm going to get into Big C's top 5. The top 5 power rankings for Major League Baseball. It is Big C's thoughts, my thoughts. The Yankees. The Yankees win. The Yankees win. The Yankees have been on a tear. As I told people they would, this was back in July. I said the Yankees would start playing better. The Yankees have the best record in baseball in August at 17-4. Them good boys are playing. And they have leapfrog struggling Boston, the Red Sox, and the American League East standings. After a 3-game sweep last week, the contributions of Nestor Cortez, Luis Gil, and Jameson Taillon have given the starting rotation a huge boost, and I think the momentum's on the right side. If you saw the game when they were down there in Atlanta, what a game. Bases were loaded. They even had to pull Rawlins Chapman. But their bullpen is strong too. The Yankees are making some noise. Wouldn't it be great to see a World Series? The New York Yankees and the San Francisco Giants are the Dodgers. But I think the Yankees, you go 17-4 on their last 21 games, that's a dominant team. So we'll see what happens. Can they keep it up? I want to go to number 4 team, Major League Baseball, Big C's power rankings. Number 4, I'm going to take you to the Milwaukee Brewers. The Brewers have won 4 straight series. Think about that. 4 straight series wins after taking 2 of 3 from St. Louis, the Cardinals. and the Washington Nationals last week, and they've been competing in control of the National League Central race for the past 2 months. The pitching staff has a 3.45 ERA. They're all flamethrowers. They're all Jedi Knights trained by the great Obi-Wan Kenobi, with 10 saves in 14 opportunities. You got 10 saves in 14 opportunities. You got some guys doing the right thing come out of the dugout. And that's in August alone. Wait until we get to September. It's hard throwing. Aaron Ashby could be a major X factor. And when you think about how good Milwaukee can be, they control the conditions inside their beautiful ballpark because they have a dome. So this is a team that's not going to be affected by the weather when it comes around to the playoffs. I want to go to number 3 in Big C's Major League Baseball power rankings. And again, it's my opinion on beautiful August 25th, 2021. I'm going to go down to the beautiful state of Florida. The Tampa Bay Race, with a 6-1 record last week, the Rays maintained their hold on the American League East League, improving to 14-6. 14-6 with plus 39 run differential in August. That's incredible. Not plus 19, not plus 29, plus 39 run differential in the month of August. Rookie phenom Wander Franco is quietly adding up, doing what he's done. All of his production is starting to pay off through 47 games. He was 10 for 24 with 3 multi-hit games last week. If you think about how good this team can be, they were on the heels of knocking off the defending World Series champion LA Dodgers last year, and the skipper went with analytics as opposed to the eyeball test. You know, sometimes you believe what your eyes tell you, right? If that makes sense to you. Like what is the Big C burger? You know it's a tasty burger. They can see all these exotic meats. They see all the exotic meats. You got to trust your eyes sometime and not the analytics. But the people on the West Coast, they don't mind. You look at the Dodgers, number 2, in Big C's Major League Baseball power rankings. The Dodgers have won the National League West 8 years in a row. Not going to win it this year. It's all going to belong to the San Francisco Giants. But the Dodgers, you know, this is a team that's as capable as anybody of winning the whole thing. The Dodgers went all in on the deadline to acquire the great Max Scherzer. He's a flamethrower. He's a Jedi Knight. Trey Turner also came on board. They've gone 16-4 with a plus 57 run differential. 57 plus run differential since pulling the trigger on the blockbuster deal. That's not 47, not 37, not 27, but 57 run differential since pulling the trigger and the blockbuster deals. The pitching staff has an Major League Baseball best. Hold on to your, or buckle your seatbelts. A 2.29 ERA. All fair and love and war. That's just in August. And they're still behind the Giants. While the offense is logged in 5.3 runs per game, they're still looking up at the San Francisco Giants in the National League West standings. But this team is rolling right now. They're rolling. They're not that far behind. But we still got some great baseball between the Giants and the Dodgers. It's almost like the NLCS. One of these teams will most likely end up in the World Series. People down in Houston say, not so fast, my friend. Dusty Baker's doing his thing. But when you look at these two teams, the Giants and the Dodgers, they've been most of the year the two top dogs in baseball. And my favorite team, because I want those World Series tickets when the Giants come to town, is bye, baby. You know, I say as we open the show that we are paying homage to the San Francisco Giants, the city by the bay, the home run king, the first place San Francisco Giants. The Say Hey Kid, home run king Barry Bonds, McCovey Cove. It's all beautiful, the San Francisco Bay. They're Big C's #1 in the baseball universe. And now fighting out of the National League West, the first place San Francisco Giants. That's my great Bruce Buffer. But the Giants, why are they #1 in Big C's power rankings in Major League Baseball out of the top 10? It was business as usual for the Giants last week as they took 2 of 3 from the New York Mets and the Athletics to become the first team in the majors to reach 80 wins. 80 wins on the season. Fans outside of San Francisco might not realize how good Logan Webb has been this year. And he added to his resume Sunday with a 6-inning, 5-hit, 1-run ball to lower his ERA to 2.84 ERA in 98 and 1 innings. You can't tell me that team is not destined for at least the NLCS. But they know the Dodgers are nipping on their butts. And they're trying to get him like the Seagulls in San Francisco are trying to get the French fries out of everybody's hands. All fair and level war. I'm going to do a quick rundown of Major League Baseball. Again, power rankings. I'm going to go San Francisco, number 1. Number 2, LA Dodgers. Number 3, Tampa Bay Race. Number 4, Milwaukee Brewers. Number 5, the New York Yankees. Number 6, Houston Astros. Number 7, Chicago White Sox. Number 8, Atlanta Braves. Number 9, Cincinnati Red. And number 10, the Oakland Athletics. Those are all Big C's Major League Baseball power rankings. And it's all fair in love and war. We're going to do everything we got to do in life. We're going to take the Big C pause, also known as the Big C timeout. And when I come back, I'm going to talk to you more about what's going on in Major League Baseball's schedule. It's all fair and love and war. We're going to take the Big C pause. And the words of the great Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back. All right, we are back from the Big C timeout, also known as the Big C pause. You can follow Big C Sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week of the number 1 podcast network in the universe, iHeartRadio Podcast. You can follow Big C Sports on Apple Podcasts. You can follow Big C Sports on Google Podcasts. Today's Major League Baseball schedule. It's all fair and love and war, Big C style. I love flying into the beautiful city of Chicago O'Hare International Airport. The Colorado Rockies are flying into town, and they're taking on the beautiful city of Chicago's favorite team, the Cubs. Runners on first and third. The pitch hit deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friend, the great Tony Montana. The girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep. All fair level war. Keep in mind, the Cubs, not a good team this year. Colorado, they're having their own issues, but pitching, pay attention for my prop bettors. German Marquez on the mound, keep that in mind when you hear about pitching. And then at bat, Sergio Alcantara, as well as Connor Joe and Elias Diaz, as well as Charlie Blackmon. I'm going to give those out for my prop betting specialist. Going to fly out of Chicago O'Hare, going to land at Pittsburgh International Airport. Runners on first and third. The pitch hit deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friends, all fair and love and war. Love the Stadium PNC Ballpark in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. On the mound, Bryce Wilson. Not going to give you much more information than that, but for your prop betting specialist, you know what that means. And then just keep that in mind. That's the only name my prop bettors told me to give out for the Pittsburgh game against the Arizona Diamondbacks flying in. I'm going to fly out of Pittsburgh into Baltimore, Maryland, where they're playing the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. And we have runners on first and third. The pitch hit deep, left field, back to the wall, home run. Say hello to my little friend, the great Al Pacino. The girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep. It's all fair and level war. Pay attention. He's must-see TV when you have the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim pitching. You have Chris Ellis. Okay, he's doing his thing. But pay attention when Shohei Ohtani is either outfield or up to bat. It's amazing. Pay attention also. I'm going to bring up the name of Jared Walsh and then Trey Mancini. That's for you prop bet specialists. Not going to give out much more than that because I want to keep all my fingers so I can eat that Big C burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with exotic meats. This next segment is sponsored by Budweiser Zero. It has 0% alcohol, 100% on your game, and it goes great with the Big C burger. It is a tasty burger, and it comes with, what's all this exotic meat? It comes with exotic meats. I'm going to take you to a game as we fly out of Baltimore. Going to fly into Philadelphia. The Tampa Bay Rays are in town. Runners on first and third. The pitch hit deep, center field. That ball's hit a ball. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. They told you the girls love the long ball and men love to hit deep. Pay attention to pitching. The great pitcher Zach Wheeler, when he's on the mound, pay attention to him. Also at bat, when you pay attention to Tampa, This Joey Wendell. Also, Bryce Harper, his name came up from my prop betting specialist. All fair and level war in Major League Baseball. Going to fly out of Philadelphia. Going to fly to the beautiful city of Toronto, Canada. Oh, Canada, our home and native land. The Chicago White Sox fly into Canada. And we have a beautiful crowd on hand. Runners on first and second. The pitch. Hit deep. Left field. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. The Canadian women love the long ball, and the men love to hit deep in Canada. Pitching on the mound. Pay attention. Robbie Ray. He's a good old boy. He can do his thing. Also at bat, keep in mind, when you have Elroy Jimenez and then Randall Garchuk. Pay admit, that's my prop betting stories that I've been told. We can't talk much more about what's going on in the world of prop betting because things change. Like the great, I guess is it Wayne Brady? I guess Wayne Brady. Wayne Brady had a skit, and I won't get too much into it because I don't want him looking for me. Does that make sense for you? Let's make a deal, Wayne Brady. Let's make a deal. It's all fair. 11 work. He should have on Let's Make a Deal. Behind door number 1 is the Big C Burger. It's a tasty burger, and it comes with all this exotic meats. We got to get Sam Jackson to eat the burger on the Let's Make a Deal. All fair 11 work. I want to fly you into the city of New York City. Yes, New York City. I want to fly you into LaGuardia Airport because at Kennedy, somebody stole my luggage. They found the luggage, but they didn't return the 12 Big C burgers. I know there were 12 Big C burgers because I had one for my friends. So that the airport said they found the luggage, but they cannot confirm or deny if there were ever 12 Big C burgers inside the luggage. I said I know there was because I packed them all. I haven't had the grease spots, all fair and 11 work. But the Giants fly in to New York City, LaGuardia Airport, taking on the New York Mets. Runners on first and third. The pitch. Indeed. Left field. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. All spread level warp. In New York City, the girls love the long ball, and men love to hit deep. It's all friend level warp. Pay attention on the mound. The great Johnny Cueto. He can do his thing. Also at bat, Javier Baez. And then Jeff McNeil. Those are names I was told to give you by my prop betting specialist. All fair and love and war, Big C style. Gonna fly out of New York City, minus the 12 Big C burgers that I brought for some friends. All fair and love and war. Gonna fly into Miami, Florida, Miami International Airport. Bienvenido on Miami. Runners at first and third. The pitch. Hit deep. Left field. Back to the wall. It is caught at the warning track. It's all fair and love and war. The Miami Marlins taking on the Washington Nationals. Pay attention for the pitcher's name of Edward Cabrera. That's all I'm going to give you. And then Jesus Sanchez. Those are two names that my prop betting guy said I can give you. And again, I want to keep all my fingers. So I know I must be doing something right. It's all fair and level work. I'm going to fly out of Miami International. I love when they say bienvenido on Miami. I love Miami. One of the most beautiful places in the universe. But I'm going to fly in the great Northeast in Boston. The great friends in Boston. Beautiful Fenway Park. We're going to land at Logan International. The Minnesota Twins fly into Boston. We have a packed house at Fenway Park. Runners on first and third. The pitch. Hit deep. Left field. Back to the wall. It's over the green ball. It's all fair and level war over the green monster. You got to hit it a mile to get it over the green monster. All fair and level war. But keep in mind, there's some great pitching in this game. Nick Pivetta. Keep his name in mind. Also, at bat, this is for my prop betting friends. Keep in mind the name Luis Arraez. Also, Hunter Renfroe. Those are names I was told by my prop bettors that I can give you. We're going to fly out of Logan International, Boston, Massachusetts. Going to fly in to Cleveland. And Cleveland's going to bring in Texas from the beautiful state of Texas. The Rangers show up in town. We have runners on first and third. Their pitch. Hit deep. Right field. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friends. All Fred Level War. The Texans are coming into Cleveland. I like the Guardians name, but they haven't changed it yet. Pitching on the mound, Drake Latch. Keep his mind. Keep him at the top of the mind. Also, at bat, Ahmed Rosario. Keep that in mind. This is my prop betting specialist I can give you. They're going to fly out of the beautiful city of Cleveland. This is for you. The great LeBron James hit that after they burned his jersey. How much love they have for that man. Burned his jersey when he left. all fair and level war. Gonna fly into Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Told you how great they are. They make Big C's power rankings top 10. The Brewers will host the Cincinnati Reds. What a game we should have. Now the Reds, they are 69-58. They are 33-29 away. The Brewers are 77-49. They are 35-28 at home. Runners on first and third. The pitch. Hit deep. Left field. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. All fair level war. Pay attention to the mound. Luis Castillo has a 4.35 ERA. Not a Jedi Knight, but he's a good pitcher. And then also Brandon Woodruff, the home pitcher for Milwaukee. This is why they're so good. He has a 2.48 ERA. He's a Jedi Knight. He's a flamethrower. Really love the way he's throwing the ball and throwing strikes. Strike one, strike two, strike three. Struck him out. All fair level war. I'm going to fly over to the West Coast, down to San Diego International, home of a lot of the Marines that protect our country. The Los Angeles Dodgers are 79-47 on the season. They're 37-26 away. The Padres, they are 68-59. They are only, well, I can't say only, but compared to the Dodgers, they have a better home record than the Dodgers have in away. They're 41-27 at home. They've been a nemesis for the Dodgers. The Giants want to see what happens in this game, but I'm going to give you something. Runners on first and third. The pitch. Hit deep. Center field. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. The Dodgers, they have a baseball factory. Like Willie Wonka in the chocolate factory back in the day, they have Walker Buehler in the baseball factory. He's a 13-2 on the season. He has a 2.11 ERA. He's a Jedi Knight. He was trained by the great Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's a gunslinger. That good boy could do his thing. Blake Snell for the Padres. Not that bad, but can't even hold a glove to the great Walker Buehler. He has a 4.82 ERA. Not a Jedi Knight, but still good. I'm going to fly you into a couple of more games. We have the St. Louis Cardinals and the Detroit Tigers. I'm going to tell you we have runners on first and third. The pitch. Hit deep. Left field. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. St. Louis Cardinals. What a great place to watch a baseball game. Michael Fulmer. Keep in mind when he was on the mound for Detroit. And then also on the mound for St. Louis, T.J. McFarland. Keep that in mind. Going to fly out of St. Louis into the city of Kansas City, Missouri. And actually, Kansas City is going to fly into Houston, taking on the Houston Astros. We have runners on first and third. The pitch. Hit deep. Left field. Back to the wall. You know the story. Home run. All fair in Leavenworth, Houston. Under Dusty Baker doing their thing. On the mound for Kansas City's Joel Payamps. And then on the mound for the good old boys in Houston, Kendall Graveman. Pay attention to those good old boys. The last baseball story I'm going to give you before we close out some football. The Chicago Cubs having a tough one this year, but every now and then even a blind squirrel gets a nut, if that makes sense to you. Or you know how you go to the club, you get a date at 2 o'clock in the morning when they close in the bar. Chicago Cubs taking on the Colorado Rockies. Runners on first and third. The pitch. Hit deep. Left field. Back to the wall. You know the story. Home run. Say hello to my little friend. All fair and love and war. I'm not going to tell you who won, but I'm going to give you some pitchers' names. Austin Gomber and also Cody Hewer. Keep that in mind. I think I've done it right for my prop bettors because I still got all my figures. It's all fair and level war. I love the world of Major League Baseball. I love NFL football. I love it all. There's so many big-time players making big-time plays. I'm looking forward to some NFL football. And if you have coaches not naming who is going to start at the quarterback position, it's all fair and level war. But I love the running back also. Closing out today, Big C Sports Style. Going to bring up some of the top 5 running backs in the NFL to pay attention to for the kickoff that comes in the first week of September. I think they should have the great Bruce Buffer. Are you ready for some football? We have that now. He should have. And now, are you ready for some football? Big C style, all spread level war. I love runaway freight train touchdown Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry for the Tennessee Titans. The Titans come up to the line of scrimmage. Henry in the backfield, 4 wideouts, a 5-man front by the Colts. The pitch goes to Henry. He's running right to the corner at the 50. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. Cuts back at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown! Titans! Derrick Henry, 50 yards. Runs 50 yards to the house. And people can debate how much running backs can really outperform their environment, but nobody has done more than touchdown Derrick Henry, his name by Big C Sports. Over the past 2 seasons, he has 2,758 yards. That's after contact. After contact since the start of the 2019 season. Almost 1,000 yards more than any other running back in that time. You make the call. Would you want to tackle that runaway freight train coming around the corner? It's a business decision when touchdown Derrick Henry is doing his thing. The number 2 running back to pay attention to in 2021, my opinion, Big C's thoughts, Dalvin Cook for the Minnesota Vikings. Up to the line of scrimmage, the Vikings, I set formation, Cook in the backfield, Cousins looking at a 5-man front by the Packers, turns around, pitches out to Cook. Cook's running right, turns the corner at the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the 5, and he dives into the end zone for the touchdown! Minnesota Vikings on the board again. Dalvin Cook, 50 yards. That good boy has breakaway speed. Cook is the closest thing to Henry in terms of a running back outperforming expectations in the NFL. That's just my opinion, and everybody has one. But the Vikings, think about this. That good boy is so amazing. He came back from a torn-up knee, and he's still making it happen. The Vikings offensive line has ranked 15th in the league in blocking, but that good boy Cook is also a big play waiting to happen. He's ripped off carries of at least 70 yards in each of the last 3 seasons. You make the call. Going to fly over to Carolina, the Panthers. They have a good boy out of Valor Christian High School, and he went to Stafford, played for the Stafford Cardinal. His name is Christian McCaffrey. His father played for the Denver Broncos back in the day. Up to the line of scrimmage, and McCaffrey in the backfield. Have 4 wideouts, 5-man front by the Falcons. Turns around, hands it off to McCaffrey. He's running right, has the corner at the 50. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. Cuts back at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown, Panthers! Christian McCaffrey, 50 yards. He ran 50 yards, broke a couple of tackles. Arguably the most complete running back in the league. McCaffrey also showed the problems with the position in the NFL today when Carolina's offense actually proved to be kind of a little bit better before when they had Cam. McCaffrey has seen 388 targets in his NFL career and has dropped just 9 passes. He's a threat running. He's also a threat passing. That's why I make him my number 3 choice for NFL running backs doing their thing, taking it to the house in 2021. Coming up, number 4 on Big C Sports, Power 5 running backs for 2021. Chubb up to the line of scrimmage, ISAP formation. Mayfield has 4 wideouts, and we have a 5-man front by the Steelers. Mayfield turns around, hands the ball off to Chubb. Chubb breaking tackles at the 50. He's at the 40. He's across the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. He's into the end zone for the touchdown. 50 yards. The great Nick Chubb can do his thing. His 3rd touchdown of the day. He's a great running back for the Cleveland Browns. He's not Jim Brown, not even saying that, but he looks like it at times. There may be no better pure ball carrier in the NFL than the great Nick Chubb. Only a relative lack of impact in the passing game keeps him as low as number 4. The Georgia Bulldog product has the best broken tackle rate in the NFL over the last 2 seasons. 124 broken tackles on 488 carries. So that good a boy, yeah, he needs a block, but he doesn't need all the blocks in the world. But he's good. And with Baker Mayfield, their passing game, Cleveland, this is for you. The great LeBron James will be saying that for their Browns this year. Also, I'm going to bring up another player that has touchdown written all over him down in the south of New Orleans, Louisiana. Number 5, Big C's thoughts on best running back for 2021. The great Alvin Kamara, New Orleans Saints. We have Winston up to the line of scrimmage. They have a shotgun formation. Kamara to his side, 4 wideouts, and the Falcons in a 5-man front. Winston with the snap, pitches out to Kamara. He turns the corner at the 50, cuts back at the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. It's at the 5. Touchdown! Saints! Alvin Kamara, 50 yards! He takes it to the house, and he has the ability to run left and then come back right and race 50 yards to the end zone. He's so difficult to tackle. Like McCaffrey, Kamara is an all-around weapon on offense for the New Orleans Saints. He has seen 100 targets and hauled in 80 catches in every season of his career. The Saints running back has averaged over 2 yards per route in his NFL career. Again, they don't have touchdown Drew Brees, but I think what you have in Jameis Winston is going to be just as good. I'm telling you, now that he got his eyes fixed and he's not throwing the ball to two receivers at a time, he can throw it one at a time because he can see better after LASIK surgery. And unlike touchdown Drew Brees, Winston can also buy you some time. I really like where we're going with these football players. And I like it so much, I'm going to give you one more for 6 points. I'm going to go to Green Bay, Wisconsin, the great touchdown Aaron Jones. And he's lined up behind the great touchdown. You know, it's amazing that Rogers came back. I'm glad he came back. At Lambeau Field, Packers I-set formation. And you have the running back Jones in the backfield behind touchdown Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings in the 5-man front. Rodgers turns around, pitches out to Jones. Jones across the 50, cuts back at the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's at the 5. Touchdown! Packers! 50 yards! Jones took it to the house from 50 yards away. He's never had a bad year in the NFL. With 4 straight seasons, that good boy has done his thing every single year. He's averaged at least 3 yards after contact per carry each of his last 2 seasons. That's a good boy waiting to happen. You have touchdown Aaron Rodgers, who can throw deep. You have Aaron Jones, who can take it to the house. All he needs is one block, and it makes it all fair and level war. That's Big C Sports Podcast. Espy nominated on a beautiful August 25th, 2021. I bring it to you flying solo. And we're Espy nominated. I ask anyone that puts their podcast up against Big C Sports, it's all fair and level war. I'm not just talking. I mean this for you podcast sponsors that pay between $1 million and $10 million a year. I'm going to run down what I do. It's going to take less than a minute. It's important. I produce the show. Number 2, I direct topics. Number 3, I broadcast shows. Number 4, I do the sound effects for Big C Sports. Number 5, I do commercials outside of what the agency does. Number 6, I provide stats. Number 7, I provide the storytelling. Number 8, I do Bible verses. Number 9, I upload Big C Sports Podcast to 15 podcast apps all over the world, and even just open up in London, England. I also upload to 4 TV platforms for Big C Sports. So when it's time for the SB, remember, it's time! You're welcome to the show. I love what I do. As we always tell you back in the day, there's a man by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man, and he would always tell Ali, you float like a butterfly, you sting like a bee, you rumble, young man, rumble. With all you've got to use, how can you lose? As I always tell you, my mom says, always rise and shine. There's never ever an excuse for racism or domestic violence. If you know any man, woman, or child going through that garbage, pick up the phone and ask for help, because no man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. And as we always tell you on every Big C Sports show, rise and shine. Welcome to the show. We thank you. We appreciate you, and we hope that you have a touchdown of a fantastic day.